A very warm welcome to our next episode of Heads Held High. Today, we have the much awaited Xavierites in the house. St. Xavier's Higher Secondary School, Mapusa, is here. And I will request the General Secretary and the Assistant General Secretary to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello everybody, my name is Siddhi Sapnil Chodankar and I am the General Secretary of St. Xavier's High Secondary School. I am from 12th Science and I am not just a studious kiddo as most of you would assume. I really love sports. My favorite sport is volleyball and I'm also into music. So that's it, a short introduction on myself.
Hello everybody, myself Aryan Atmaram Arolkar and I am the Assistant General Secretary of St. Xavier's HSS. I study in 12th Science, so as you would expect, science students mostly into studies, but yeah, I play chess, it's my passion. I used to play a lot of tournaments, but due to boards and all now I don't go much. I love reading novels, books, yeah, so that's all on me.
Well, that's nice. Two science students in the house. I like that. If you had to describe yourselves, you've given us something about your passion, chess, we've got volleyball, we've got music. If you had to describe yourself in 5 words or less, what would those words be? Why don't you go first?
So I'll say I'm dedicated to my work.
Okay.
I'm passionate, I'm approachable, and I'm quite adaptive to various situations.
That's nice. Adaptive is a good quality to have. What about you?
Firstly, I would say ambitious and reliable. People can rely on me. I'm good with that. And not just one word, I'll say as a phrase, a good listener. Like, I can comfort people. I'm not boasting, but I really can. And I'll say humorous.
Yes, I like that.
Yes.
I think these are very important qualities to have, right? To be able to adapt, to go ahead and be approachable and to listen to someone. While everybody might think that leaders need to, be brave and warriors and, remove their swords out and go to battle, leaders also have to listen, actively listen to what's being said. I know so many leaders who don't really listen. But we need leaders who listen. We also need leaders who are who have compassion and who feel for others. And I believe you had said before when we were talking that you're very approachable. You find yourself, that's correct, right?
Yes.
You had said that you find yourself very approachable. And being approachable is such a undermined quality, but the things you can do when you're approachable, when anybody can come up to you and have a conversation and not feel scared. What are the qualities that you think an ideal leader should have?
Ideal leader should be like, when I used to be in lower classes, I would see my leaders. Like, I wouldn't like it if they were bossy, like just ordering you around, tu bhitar chal. Sorry for the slang.
No, that's okay. But yes, tu bhitar chal is pretty, yeah.
I mean, they can talk in a polite way.
Yes.
Like, your actions should portray like why you are chosen to be the leader. That's
I agree.
Yes. And a leader is all about influencing, not about imposing your thoughts. It's what I believe.
I think I will quote you on this. Young minds saying absolutely essential things. You should be influencing and not imposing. I think this is something new. Every time I have an interview, I take away something really nice. And I like that. Influence, don't impose. Because when you're a leader, you're already in a position of influence.
Yes.
Because you've been given that limelight. And that just, makes it better, and that just makes it more prominent what you do. And we'd love for you to do the good things so that you don't have to tell them to do it, you can ask them to do it.
Yes.
What do you think are the ideal qualities of a leader?
I feel that a leader should believe in teamwork, not like he instructs other people, you do this, and I am sitting and watching. No, it's like, let's do it together. We shall do it and get the work done. So I feel a leader should be one who conveys his message to his peers nicely and not bossing himself on them.
So you're a young adults, right? So I can pose this to you. science proves that the male and female brains are very different from each other. We also know through psychology that we perceive things differently. I'm talking to two leaders who are in, two different positions. So I'm talking in general, right? The feminine mind looks at leadership very differently. And I can very clearly see that. The feminine mind, and very rightly so, and we're a world made up of a feminine and a masculine energy, right? So the feminine mind wants to be led with grace. We want to be led with dignity, which is great. And the masculine mind wants to be led with, and correct me if I'm wrong, with a little bit of discernment and correction and strategy. And this is the by far and large. And because we are in a world where we lead both together, you don't have just girls or just boys or just that energy, right? You've got two energies. Do you think we need to emphasize on this? Do you think there is enough emphasis given on this idea that we need to lead keeping both in mind, keeping both energies in mind? Do you think that emphasis is given?
When the leaders are chosen, like the teachers have something in mind, like the leaders that are chosen, it just comes from within, like there's no such emphasis on masculine, feminine, but they just blend all together.
Correct.
Like there's emphasis on every single thing, I would say.
That's nice. That is nice. I like when, it's good when teachers go ahead and look at it, but what I'm trying to ask you is, when we go in the future, example, when you move out and you become a leader in your organization where you're working, would you keep that in mind, that probably I need to lead this group differently, like being a man or a boy, you will say, I think I need to be a little bit more gentle, and like in that sense, where you kind of keep the other in balance. Or while you go ahead and let's say there's a group of boys and they're all be making a lot of noise, then you'll have to lead a little differently, probably lead with a little bit of direction and lead with consequences, probably. Do you think that kind of a perspective is valuable or not? It can be a no also. What do you think? Is that?
At times it really is, because certain students, they are just atoms in excited state, I would say, like my teacher says.
Atoms in excited state, I like that.
So they really need a stern voice or like you just have to tell them, you better listen.
Yes.
Or like
there's consequences.
Yes.
There's consequences. Yes. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, as I said in my introduction, that I'm adaptive pretty much.
Yes.
So I think I can adapt to the situation and deal with it in the way it is. As she said, if there is a group of boys making noise, so yeah, we have to tell them.
Increase your voice and tell them, hey.
Yeah.
And then when it's needed, you can soften down and be adaptive. We'd like for you to take note of this. I know we've completed 20 plus episodes, but we unearth new things every single day. We're learning. I think we're all learning. And when you open up these conversations, we learn for the better, for the future. Going back to the past, if we went to the 5th standard of version of yourself, and you went up, you let's say you go into their classroom, okay, and I would call you out. You're in 5th standard now. You're in the middle of, let's say, a science class. You're making your notes, and I come and I knock and I say, hey, just come out. And then you go and tell yourself, I think you're going to be the general secretary or assistant general secretary when you're in 12th standard. What do you think the first reaction would be of your 5th standard old self?
Alright, so no filter, I would be like, hey? Xavier, General Secretary, full dramatic reaction, I would say.
I agree to that. You're like, hey? Are you mad? Like, it's okay, right? Me? I like that.
I really had this wish to be the head girl in school.
Okay.
And it would be like, because I'm into sports and everything, I would be kind of popular among friends. So I was like very much expecting to be the head girl, like I would get votes. But then this COVID thing happened and I'm like, okay, no chance, this thing is not meant for me.
And then it happened, but it had to come to you, so it came.
Yes.
But the younger version of you would be like, hey, like,
Xavier's no way.
No way. What about you? What would your younger version do for this? Like, I call you out of the classroom and say, hey, I think you're going to become the assistant general secretary. You're going to be in a leadership position in your 12th standard.
first of all, I would be like surprised, like, what? Me? And yeah, then after processing everything, I would be like, cool, okay, that's good. Because I was in Britos.
Okay.
So we had the parliament like.
Okay.
For the
Yes,
10th
we've had Britos here,
Yes,
so we
yes.
know. Yes.
So I always used to fancy them and those white uniforms.
Yes.
I always used to look up that and I always thought that when I'd be in 10th, I'll be wearing the uniform and be the head boy of
But
Britos.
COVID happened.
Same, yeah. COVID happened.
But COVID
Can't do
happened.
anything.
Poor thing, you'll get to, there's a generation that will only know this in their hearts. With one sentence, COVID happened. So many dreams were lost. And we're laughing about it now and we're smiling about it now. But really, so many dreams were lost. Now if I tell you, sitting in this room, that 10 years from now, you're going to be leaders in your organizations. You're going to be leading people. You're going to be leading. We are now a global world. Everything is pretty interglobal. You can sit here and be whoever you want to be. If I tell you that, would you believe me? What would be your first reaction? You're going to lead in whatever area. You'll have chosen the sciences.
Yes.
Wherever you go, you're going to be a leader.
I would believe that
Now?
now, yes. And ever since I became the general secretary, there's a lot I have learned every day, and I think on a lapse of 10 years, I would really improve as a person, and I would want not to keep it to myself, but to spread the goodness
I
everywhere.
like that. I truly like that answer. Like, hats off to you and a big applause. It's true. The more you grow, the more you want to share, the more you go to a higher level of being confident. You want to tell your friends, hey, listen, this is the trick. You just have to this is the trick. You want to tell your friends,
Right.
this is how to do it. What do you think when I say you're going to be a leader some years down the lane?
Yeah, same. I'll believe it now, but even 1 year down the line, like
Yeah.
in 11th standard,
Yeah.
if somebody told me that you will be the assistant general secretary of Xavier, I'm like, no, why? I don't think so. But now, as I've become the assistant GS, so I am starting believing more in myself.
Yes.
So yes, that's given me a lot of confidence,
Yes.
and I feel I'll do better in the future.
If you have to give an advice to the younger kids who are watching right now, the younger versions of you who are sitting in a class aimlessly looking at the board, making a lot of noise, what would you, not just 5th, I'm talking about 6th, 7th, the higher second, not in that zone, high school zone, what would you tell them? Is there any advice you'd give?
Yes. So right now, if you dream to be a leader, I would say it's not impossible. Just believe in yourself. Be yourself. You don't have to pretend to be someone really ideal of a person. With all the goodness of the world, it's not it. Everybody has some flaws, and that's the beauty about it.
I agree. I couldn't
yes.
agree more with you. It is true. You do not need to be perfect to be a leader. Go on, carry on.
And I would say becoming a leader would be really good for you. I would say it gives you a lot of confidence, trust me on this, and it just makes you a better person. Every single day you get to learn. You come across different people, and it's just the way they look at you. Even your day just brightens when they say good morning GS and everything.
Yeah.
The admiration they have for you, it's
It boosts your
beyond words.
confidence.
Yes, a lot.
It makes you better. I like how introspective you are and how much thought you have given it. It is true. They say there's a saying, they say money attracts money or wealth attracts wealth. The reality is confidence attracts confidence.
Right.
If you're confident in yourself and you're confident in anything you do, more confidence will get attracted to you. People will attribute more confidence to you, and then the cycle just keeps going on. So the advice here, very important to take note, is be you. Be just yourself. If you like playing football, play football. If you like playing volleyball, play volleyball. If you like cracking jokes and talking, go ahead, do that. Be you, and don't aim to be perfect. You don't need to be, A in everything. You just need to be happy. And I always add this, you need to put your hand up in the air and say, can I do this? Take a little bit of responsibility. It could be, will someone water this plant when we were in 5th standard in school, our class teacher loved plants. Her name was Sister Gloria. And she would bring plants in the classroom, right? And she would keep one on the main table, and she'd keep like 4 or 5 on the windows. We were like, all the plants were flowering plants. Whichever plant flowered would come on the table, and the rest would kind of be there. And then she would keep students in charge, right? Who was going to water the plants. So you had to like put like 1 cup of water every day, blah, blah, blah. Those were small things. But like you have the monitor in charge, or the duster in charge, and you have the line in charge. When someone says, hey, who's going to do this? Just put your hand up and say me. And just be enthusiastic, feel responsible. And that will attract more responsibility. You'll feel more confident. While we added our 2 bits, what do you have to say? What advice would you give the younger kids who are watching?
Yeah, same. I feel you have added most of the points. So yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, just be yourself, be in the moment. Like, don't think too much about the future. Like, what will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do this? What will be the consequences? No, do what your mind says.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's nice. It's very well, and candidly put. Just be yourself. Like, do you. You do you. That's the way to go ahead. But now you've been doing, how you went about with your things. You went ahead and studied, and you did well. And here you are. And here we are having this conversation about leadership. Who are the leaders that you look up to? Who are the people who are influential, as we said, people with influence? Who are the people with influence that you look up to?
This time you go first.
okay.
I like that. Yes, go first.
Go first.
So I always look up to my parents and
Yes.
my teachers. So first I would say parents, because they are very supportive. They always encourage me to do good things. Also my teachers, like, they've given me the opportunity. They've selected as the assistant GS. So yes, I'll say my teachers and my parents, I'll say.
Yes.
And to be more accurate, I love watching cricket.
Yes.
So the leader that I look up to is MS Dhoni.
I'm like,
You
he's
stole
just
You
taken
stole
it.
my word.
We've had the same discussion about a couple of episodes before, and someone said MS Dhoni. I said, huh? Yes, we don't disagree. He's a great he's a great leader. Can you, for everybody who's watching, maybe they're football fans or maybe they don't know, young kids, why is he a good leader in your eyes? I think that's also important. Let's back it up with a why.
Yes, so he became the captain when there were a lot of complications going on in the Indian team. So there were a lot of youngsters coming in, there were senior players, and at that moment he became the captain. And he did what he believed was good. He took a young team and won the 2007 T20 World Cup, which was hosted for the first time. Nobody had any idea what it's going to be like, and a young Indian team won it. I think it was really good, a great part on him, because it was not an easy job to do that, because senior players coming in and you as a young captain select a young team, and yes, that's very great.
He took a lot of risks.
Yeah,
Calculated risks.
Calculated risk, exactly, yes. He knew exactly what he was doing. So I feel that is a most important quality of a leader.
Making a calculated risk and then following it through. Win or lose, good or bad, whoever says anything, you just follow it through. Take a calculated risk. I like that. MS Dhoni all the way.
Yeah.
What about you? Now you'll have to think.
He actually stole what I was going to say. I should have gone first.
See, now you can't have it both
Yeah.
ways. You can't go, okay.
But I have another sports person
Go
again
for it.
who influenced me. Mary Kom. You all must have heard about
yes,
her.
I agree.
I had seen this biopic of her. Priyanka Chopra was the
Yes.
actress, and the way, like, she had a match and she had her twins
Yes.
surgery going on, heart
Yes.
surgery, that too, and under so much pressure, like, she still had the courage to go ahead, play, and even win that match.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot. I would
It
say.
takes a lot
A
of
lot.
you emotionally, I think,
Yes.
to put your passion and to put what you value
Yes.
ahead of a situation, and such an emotional situation. I think mothers and kids have such an emotional bond. I do remember that scene in the movie also. I think all of us teared up and we were like, oh my God. And you don't know this. The other thing that I realized when I was watching, especially Mary Kom, was I realized when we see them, win a medal, or even today, let's say someone won a medal yesterday, right? Or someone won a championship a couple of months ago. We just see the glory moment. We see
Yes.
that
Yeah.
beautiful moment where we go like, wow, we don't actually know what has gone behind it in the dark, the work that goes behind it for years. And then suddenly one day the story is told. But it takes a lot of hard work in the background. I like that, yes. I think these are good leaders to look up to. We have a lot of Indian, and I like the word, to use the word, not just influencers as we see on the gram or on social media, but the influencers who, if you give close attention to, can change your life, can make you think differently, can make you go through a very difficult situation by saying, hey, she did this, I can go through a little bit of discomfort.
Yes.
I think you can tell yourself that and then move on. But now, this has been an absolute amazing conversation so far. But I do know at the deep down bottom of my heart that it's believed that Xavier has the difference. Xavier is, I can see it in your eyes. I can see the glint in your eyes. Why don't you go ahead and tell us and everybody who is watching and all the Xavierites watching, why is Xavier's different?
So, Xavier's has everything. Like every random child, if you pick out where you want to go, they'll say Xavier's. Because Xavier's has that kind of facilities. They have the best infrastructure, the best teaching staff, and the teachers are not like highly professional with you. They don't just do academics, study. It's not like that. They give you that home feeling. Like I was told not to go in Xavier's because they said you'll just get lost in the crowd. Like I know it's a big number, but no one gets lost. There's always someone or the other looking up to you. And our school has emphasis on all-round development, be it sports or you're bringing out your talents. We recently had life skill workshops too. It is very fun. Self-defense, be it chocolate making, mocktail making. Like children just enjoy. There's a bunch of memories they take along with them.
I like that. I
Yes.
like when you said you never get lost at Xavier's.
Yes.
There's no chance. I think that's the first time any student has said that on state television and been very proud of it and meant it. Xavier's, if you're listening, the management of Xavier's and the teachers of Xavier's, it's nice to hear that students feel that they're seen and they're heard under your care. And the confidence that they have, that no matter how big the number and how big the playground and how many of them are there, they don't get lost under your care. And that's applaudable and that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for doing what you're doing. What do you have to say?
Yes, so for me, Xavier's was like a dream. So I always wanted to go in Xavier's, like Brito's and Xavier's are close by. So I used
Yeah.
to see students there. So like after passing my 10th, I'll be in Xavier's. So yeah, I always looked up to Xavier's and I went there like for the when I joined in 11. Like wow, it's very good out here. The experience was very nice from all. And like I would like to give a special word of appreciation for our principal. Like she's doing everything she can do for the students. Like right from she said as organizing life skill workshops to taking the students for retreats at St. Joseph's Center in Old Goa. So yeah, like the principal is doing a lot on her part, and to manage about 1,500 students, I think it's pretty difficult. And the way she's handling it, it's all good, and we learn a lot from her.
Right.
So yes, I feel Xavier's is top notch.
I
Yes.
like that the difference in Xavier's is the principal. Can I have your principal's name?
Madam Victoria D'Souza.
A big shout out to Miss Victoria D'Souza. Thank you. There's a lot of confidence that your students have in you. Thank you for leading. I think they are leaders of the student body, and you lead them. You lead the entire school, and you set a brilliant example. I like that. Anybody else that you'd like to give a shout out to? Teachers, friends, family? Go ahead.
So I would say, firstly, my friends. Like I'm really attached to my friends. Like they are the ones, if my mind is a mess, like they are the ones I go straight to. So to all my friends, Y'all are the best guys. Like, I don't know where I would be without y'all. Literally.
Yes, and I agree to that feeling.
Yes.
All right, to the friends, to family, to everybody who's watching. To recap and to, I think, if you have to take away two things from today's amazing interview with these young leaders is one, be the person of influence in the room and do it with your actions. I don't impose, even if you have a great idea, the way to be a good leader is don't impose, influence, do it by your actions. And second thing, and that goes as a credit to St. Xavier's Higher Secondary School, Mapusa, nobody gets lost there. I think that's a good one. Nobody gets lost there. So thank you for staying in tune with us and watching this entire episode. We'll see you with a very, very invigorating interview next time. And thank you too for coming here. This was lots of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us. In
Thank
sync,
you.
bro.
In sync, yeah. That was good.